So over the years as a film photographer, I have accumulated a ton of random accessories. And it wasn't until I was packing my bags this morning for a flight that I realized I only really use about 10% of all the different accessories and gizmos inside of the closet. And so today I wanted to talk about film photography accessories that are actually worth it, the best film photography accessories that I've ever purchased, and really put a spotlight on it because these are some of the things that I use on an everyday basis that not only make my film photography just a lot more seamless, but also provides a ton of different value for my everyday photography. Now, with that said, this episode is brought to you by Squarespace, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about them later on in this video, but for now, let's jump right into some of my best film photography accessories I've ever purchased. All right, so I want to open this video up by talking about something that isn't necessarily a film photography accessory. Rather, it's something that I wish I knew more about when I was younger, instead of spending so much money on random accessories and gizmos that I don't actually need. In fact, this one thing is going to help your photography more than any accessory would. And folks, the first one here is a travel fund. Now, if I could go back in time and really spend money to be able to help my photography improve, it would be through travel funds. Basically, plane tickets, a bus ticket, you know, if you have money for the metro or the subway, anything that will get you to a place that'll allow you to explore with your camera. I mean, if you already have a camera, I guarantee you it's more than good enough. And if you take that camera and go out into the world, you know, maybe catch a flight to a new city or go to a different country, travel as much as you can with your camera, you're gonna get far better results than purchasing any other accessory. Now, my first accessory here is going to be talking about traveling with film through an airport. Now, many of you guys know you don't want to put your film through the scanners. And so something that I invested in early on was these film X-ray pouches. Now, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Some of them are just like dark bags that you can kind of give to TSA for a hand check. But these things right here are really useful, and they're just kind of like these poly plastic, I would say like pouches. I don't know how you would describe it, but these two are specifically from Kodak. They sent them over to me. And as you can see on the front of each of these packages, it says do not X-ray. It's gonna tell you film, kind of the restrictions. And when you're traveling with film, it's extremely essential because you can just hand this over to a TSA agent. They can do a hand check and you're pretty much gonna be set to go. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and I'm gonna leave all of my favorite pouches in the link in the description below. Definitely worth it, and they're pretty inexpensive as well. Now, for the folks who have a film camera with a light meter that does not work, or maybe you just don't have a light meter built in because it's a completely manual camera, the next thing that we're gonna be talking about here, folks, are these little light meters from a company called Keks, K-E-K-S. Now, they make different models. There's this one right here, which I don't even know the name of off the top of my head, but it's pretty simple. You just attach it to your cold shoe mount on top of the camera. You press this button, there's a little LCD screen, and it'll tell you exactly what settings to set your camera to. And they have other models as well if you want something smaller. This one is the KMQ. And folks, this is not a sponsored thing or anything like that. I actually really love and enjoy using these, especially on like my older kind of manual cameras. For example, this camera right here, this is an M3, put it on top and boom, you know, now I pretty much have a camera that has a light meter built in, and it's honestly extremely convenient. Now, as for the next accessory, we're gonna be talking about a little camera sling. And in recent years, I've actually ditched the camera backpack completely and just started to focus more on slings because I feel like they're a little bit more simple. And for anybody shooting film, it is game changing with just how convenient these bags can be. Now, my preferred bag is this one right here. This is the Clever Supply Co. sling bag, and as you can see, it is gorgeous. But this is the bag that I use about 99% of the time. There's the main compartment zipper up top, and then you have all the different room for cameras, film, extra lenses, extra bodies, whatever it may be, it could fit inside of this thing right here. Now, in terms of an accessory that really makes an impact on your photography, one of the best things a photographer can do for themselves is create their own professional website. And in my opinion, the most easy and effective way to start your own website is through Squarespace. Squarespace is your all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. With Squarespace Blueprint and SEO tools, you can choose from a ton of award-winning templates to get your website up and running in minutes using their drag and drop system. They also offer flexible payment options so your clients can basically select whichever way they want to pay. And one of my favorite features for the film photographer is the e-commerce shops you can set up, which allows you to sell any prints, any books, any zines that you may come up with as a film photographer. So be sure to start your website today by heading over to squarespace.com/KingJapes and entering promo code KingJapes at checkout, and you guys are gonna get 10% off of your first purchase of a domain or a website. Huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. All right, so continuing on with the accessories. If you go out and shoot film and you bring a couple of rolls at a time, you really should be investing in one of these. This is a film case, and this one is from Kodak, but there are a lot of different options on the market today, and I'm gonna show you my two favorites. When I'm bringing around 3 to 5 rolls of film, I like to use this Kodak one because one, it is all metal, and you can kind of see all of the different slots where your film is at. This helps keep your film organized and it's not gonna be swishing around inside of your bag. But if I am going on maybe a longer photographic adventure, and I'm bringing anywhere between 10 to 20 rolls of film, this is the case that I like using. This is an evergreen case right here. It's actually water resistant, has this nice buckle here up at the front, which you can kind of open up, and it exposes all of the different slots for film. Oh, I have film in, oh no, that's not film. But look at all of the different film you can hold. I believe this has a max 18 roll capacity, and it's very, very useful on those longer trips and expeditions where you might need a little bit of extra room. And again, I will be leaving Amazon affiliate links in the description below where you guys could pick this up yourselves. Now, if you are a film photographer, chances are you own some type of old school flash. And one of my favorite things to do is use an off-camera flash, especially for street photography. And the best way to do that is through a flash cord. So this is my old Canon flash that I remember picking up 6 or 7 years ago. Attached to it is this cable right here, which by the way is from a company called JJC. And this is just a TTL Flash Cord. So you put this on top of your camera like so, and then there's a little lock on the back side of it right there, which you just hit lock, and now you are ready to rock and roll. So all you gotta do now is wait for that flash to kind of load and sync up, and 3, 2, 1, the flash works on a fly. The cord itself is what we're talking about here. If you have an old flash laying around, I highly recommend picking one of these up, even if you don't do any off-camera flash like that. It's just nice to have, and if you end up wanting to do something like that, you have this cord ready to go. Now, moving on from that, the last film photography accessory that I have is actually just regular 35mm film. But more specifically, I want to talk about the 3 film stocks that I have on a constant rotation. These days, especially now that I'm creating work for a book, I don't really like to mix and match my film stock, and so I narrowed it down to my favorite 3 that have given me the best results. The first film stock, folks, is this one right here. You guys may already know about this one. It's Kodak Gold 200, and Kodak Gold 200 is pretty cool because it's one of Kodak's more inexpensive film stocks. It's gonna be a little bit cheaper than Portra 400. And then the other film stock that I don't have in front of me that you can actually purchase at like a CVS or a Walgreens is Kodak Ultramax 400. Kodak Gold 200 and Ultramax 400 are my go-to cheaper film stocks. And granted, they are still kind of expensive because film is expensive in general, but you get the point. Ultramax and Kodak Gold, they are my top 2 cheap film stocks. Now, as for the professional film stocks, you guys already know I like to shoot Portra 400. And Portra 400, again, is just my go-to film because it is so clean. You can get really nice colors, a lot of neutrals, a lot of pastels. And on the flip side, if I'm looking for something that's a little bit more sensitive to light, I go with Portra 800, and Portra 800, just like 400, is really nice as well. The only problem is Portra is expensive and I don't get to shoot it all the time just because of that reason. And so I constantly have Ultramax, Kodak Gold, and Portra 400 on a cycle. And that's mainly the 3 film stocks that I like using. They've just given me the best results that I've ever had from any film stock that I've tried. But folks, that is going to wrap it up for my favorite film photography purchases I've ever made. But like I said in the beginning, I would completely surpass these accessories and spend my money mostly on a plane ticket or a train ticket, anything that will get me out of my usual places to shoot. And I think that's the big sentiment from this video, to be honest with you. You can have all the gear, you can have all the accessories, but if you're photographing the same things every single day, you may not really see a difference in your work. Going out to experience the world, other countries, other cultures, and really explore with your camera is what photography is all about for me. And so that's pretty much what I have for you all today. Forget these accessories and go travel more. But that's gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We have links in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, Minolta gang. Whew.